unruly. It may be as we underscore, every voter in America now is becoming very aware of what's going on in California, watching our politics very closely. Joining us now to talk about tonight's debate, Jane Barnett. She chairs the LA County Republican Party. And Eric Bauman. He's chairman of the LA County Democratic Party. Welcome to you both. Let me start with you, Jane. It seemed to me, this is just me, that as a new entry into the political forum, that Meg Whitman really wasn't up to the fight with Jerry Brown. What was your take?
Oh, I thought it was a very clear choice tonight. I think what Californians saw was somebody who is smart, focused, a businesswoman who knows how to run a company and knows what we need to do to cut back and understands California and where it's going.
But Jane, she hemmed and hawed, and there was a lot of ums and ahs, and a lot of stuff didn't come out the way I think she wanted it to come out. I mean, I think her performance was really lacking the spark that Jerry Brown had.
Just the opposite. I've seen her and been with her many times, and I think her performance is who she is. She is a real person who's not distant from people. I know she drives her own car, and she knows what she wants. She knows how to focus on the job ahead. We saw on the other side, Jerry Brown's answers were muddled.
Did you think they were muddled, Eric?
You know, I think what we saw tonight was a clear clash of values. Meg Whitman's values are those of millionaires and billionaires, and Jerry Brown's values are those of everyday Californians. Jerry Brown said he would stand up and fight for education and to move California forward, and Meg Whitman said she'd fight for tax breaks for millionaires and billionaires. My goodness, that's not the way to lead California.
I'm not talking about politics here. I'm just talking about style. It seemed that Jerry Brown was very energized. He looked a lot younger than his 70-plus years, and that he really seemed to have command of the podium, where she seemed a little bit lacking there.
And you know what? I think the people of California saw tonight that he will be a very energetic governor when he goes back to Sacramento as the governor in January. And he has the energy and the passion to do the things that we Californians want to re-energize our state, and he proved that tonight very clearly.
But energy and passion, does that equate into a good governor, Jane?
No. What we saw tonight was Jerry Brown had no plan. Meg Whitman has a plan. Jerry Brown is all he talked about was defending what happened in the past. What happened in the past was, he's for all the job-killing bills that he's always been. I mean, he was very excited to say that his first job was in politics and being elected to office. That's no job. He's never really held a job. She has. She knows that it's not politicians that will fix California. It's finding how to put Californians back to work.
All right, let's bring John Schwada back in here. John, you were there. You sat and you watched it.
A question. Right, a question for both of them is, because of Jerry Brown's age, is it finally an issue in the governor's race about who might be lieutenant governor, who might succeed him in the horrible event that he might be incapacitated in office?
Let's throw that to Eric.
Well, I would say that Gavin Newsom, with his experience as the mayor for 2 terms in San Francisco, is ready, able, and willing to step in and take over in the absence of the governor, whereas his Republican opponent in the race truly is not prepared. He's been a legislator, not an administrator, not an executive, and I think that's where Gavin comes in and will make a terrific second in command for the state of California and be ready at a moment's notice to take over.
So many great moments tonight in this debate. I mean, you could just ring them up. It was really classic campaigning tonight on the stage, and one of the moments was when Prop 13 came up, and the commercial that Meg Whitman has been running with Bill Clinton pounding away at Jerry Brown when Jerry Brown was running against him for president. Take a look at this.
Governor Brown opposed Proposition 13. He said it was a fraud and just recommended that it not be passed. The voters were fit to be tied. They had it with ever-escalating property taxes. Governor Brown was sitting on a huge surplus, which he refused to give back to the people. Proposition 13 passed, and yet didn't align the cost structure of the state and ended up with a $1 billion budget deficit.
In the November election, Howard Jarvis himself voted for me. He even did a campaign commercial. And what he said was, Brown opposed it. I wrote Proposition 13, but he made it work.
Okay, so, and then he pointed out that Howard Jarvis actually, worked with Jerry Brown to make that work. And I think that was a great counterpunch. And Meg Whitman seemed a little flattened by that, Jane.
No, I don't think so. He was governor.
Were you watching the same debate I was?
I was watching the same debate you were.
Because it seems to me now, I'm just talking about style points here. I'm not talking about politics.
Right.
I'm just talking about experience versus someone who's probably never done the debate quite that way. You saw that? You saw her really take command of the stage?
I saw her take command, and what I saw in Jerry Brown was kind of a bitter old man who pointed his finger at people all night long. He even talked about himself being old. And I think that, it's more of a politician is what we saw. He was defending all the things he did in the past, and he was totally on defense. She has a plan. She went forward with her plan and answered all the questions beautifully.
It will be interesting to see how the voters see it. Eric, you have the last word.
Well, I would just say one thing about talking points is you shouldn't believe your own talking points. Okay, the reality is Jerry Brown was vivacious and live and spoke to the values and the issues that people of California care about. He's going to be an extraordinary governor, and that's why he's leading in the latest polls.
Jane Barnett, Eric Bauman, thank you so much. We'll see you soon as this election draws near. Thank you.